that in? Is that the arena? It's a freaking well.
It's a tent, yeah. It's a big old tent.
Fight Pass is your ticket to more than 1,000 live bouts. Check out live events from over a dozen fight organizations, including featured matchups on UFC Fight Pass early prelims. Invicta, the
It's hard to like gauge how hot it's gonna be, but it's actually like kind of decent in there, like heat-wise.
Looking amazing, man.
Thank you, man.
Very cool.
You're looking pretty good yourself.
Thank you.
So my name is Shaheen Al-Shadi. I'm a senior writer at The Athletic, and we're here at UFC242 in Abu Dhabi.
How are you finding it here in Abu Dhabi?
It is extraordinarily hot. It is extraordinarily hot. It's a lovely place. It's a beautiful place, but it is outrageously hot. And it's sort of being felt by everybody, I think, here in general, the fighters. I mean, we just saw Don Madge after his victory. I was talking to some of his coaches asking, because you go inside the arena, it's kind of okay right now. It's warm, but it's not too hot. But I was asking the coaches, you know, how's it feel actually under the lights inside the cage? And they said it's unbearable. They said it was the hottest thing that they had ever felt in terms of that. And this arena hasn't even filled out yet. So we'll see how that works out. I mean, once it fills out, it's going to be even worse. I think somebody's going to be really sweaty for a lot of these fights, and that might not help Khabib, so we'll see how that plays into it.
Yeah. Is there a fight other than the main event that you're specifically looking forward to? And if so, why?
Other than the main event, I mean, the co-main is the obvious choice, right? Paul Felder, Edson Barboza. For me, that fight is fascinating on a couple different levels. One, where Paul Felder sort of is in his career. I feel like he's kind of a sneaky 35 years old. You don't realize he's that old. This kind of might be his last chance to really get into that contention if he wins tonight. And on the flip side, man, the dynamics between these two guys has changed so drastically in the 5 years since they first fought. You look at that first fight, Edson was basically just hitting his prime. He was just becoming that not number one, but that lightweight contender that he was going to be. And Paul was that new guy coming in. He had no idea what he was doing. When I talked to him, he said, I was just happy to be there, basically. And now he's absolutely not. I feel like the dynamic has kind of switched with momentum. So it'll be interesting to see whether that plays out in the way we think, or if Edson Barboza has one more good one in him, man.
Yeah. So what about the culinary choices that we've got laid out today? Pretty decent, isn't it?
So I haven't actually gotten a chance to go over there and see him out yet.
Have you not? Yeah, it's good. Abu Dhabi treat as well.
I would say the whole week though, the spreads have been pretty outrageous, and so that's not a.
This is how hot it is. The fucking camera has just steamed up. So this is outside. It is so hot. Got some coffee stands here, Pizza Hut, and then you've got the statistics of the fight up here. More food. Got some well cool stuff.
Yeah, wicked.
Just beginning, I want to show my
Yeah.
next fight.
Yeah. How was the heat in there?
What?
How's the heat in there? Was it a problem? The heat?
Heat?
Yeah, the heat, the humidity.
What do you mean heat?
Yeah, temperature in the arena.
It's okay.
Is it okay
I
with
come here 10 days before.
Right.
Inside, I didn't feel hot.
Yeah, no problem. Oh, that's good. That's good. And the canvas, is it slippy at all? All good?
UFC cameras always good.
Good. Congratulations.
Thanks.
A few people were saying that the lights above the thing are the worst part about
Oh, really?
Yeah.
They've just had to tell a woman twice to stop fucking videoing. She's like octagon side, videoing on her phone with the flashlight on her phone. Fucking idiots. It's madness.
I wouldn't do that.
When I say corner, I was the dude carrying his shoes. Then I lost his hat in his last fight, so it wasn't too happy.
Oh shit.
So I had to send him a hat from Amazon. So it's all good now.
What was the hat?
How do you see it?
It was some like camo Vans cap.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't like a
Not a special one.
no. Thank goodness.
Suck it up, Cal.
Yeah.
We'll get your full reptile one out, my friend.
Yeah, thank goodness. So I think that was me revoked from cornering duties.
Is that it?
For the fights. Yeah.
Wow.
You know, once you lose a guy's cap, you literally
it.
had one job and you stuffed it up. So. Out of there now, bro.
It'd be understandable if it was like cowboy or picket.
Yeah, cool.
They're special hats. But, you know,
No, not one that's
just a regular
replacing.
Vans hat.
Sorry,
We can
Cal.
replace that with a better one.
I'm enjoying the new one.
You watched that documentary that we did on it?
Yes,
Good, isn't it?
I did.
I'm
Very good.
excited for
Very
it,
good.
man.
Very nice. It's nice to see. It's nice to see Cal flourishing, man. He really deserves it. He had a bit of a hard deal out in SA, so and he's a talented kid, man.
Yeah.
And he's made all the right moves now, so it's cool to see. It's cool to see him where he needs to be.
Yeah.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
Very, very cool.
This is the fight that launched him as well, you know,
Yeah.
if he wins this one. Especially to be so confident to go into Gallagher's territory to fight
Yeah.
him, you know, that's...
So what I was saying, I think it was a fight he wanted straight away. He was saying to me he's gonna make noise and see if he can get it done. You know?
Yeah.
Because he saw it as a fight that he could win and that he wanted. So big ups to him, man.
Yeah.
You know, and it's quite funny. I don't know. You guys caught the story about Razin. So his coach told him, Andrew
Yeah.
Fisher told him the next day that, you know, had he won, he would have gone to fight in Razin. It would have been like a life-changing fight. So he was quite gutted the next day. I'll try to find did he show you, any of you guys, the photo of them the next day in their African gear, riding scooters around Cape Town? Like
I don't think so.
No,
Did we see that?
no,
Oh, we
no,
didn't see
never
that. Yeah,
It's
we're going to update the documentary, Cal. We're going to put
It's
that
the
in.
best thing you've ever seen. So, as a South African, I found him and Fisher at the Cape Town waterfront dressed in this like bright orange traditional African gear, their scooter helmets, and he was like a bit worn for wear. You know, he had lost the time fight and he was a bit down and obviously got that news. And I said to him at the time, like, well, you know what, the reality is everything happens for a reason, and you can't see it now, but the bigger
Yeah.
picture will come. And now he's here, main event for Bellator in Dublin. So,
Yeah.
so I think everything worked out for him the right way, man. And it's goosebumps stuff. I'm just happy for him.
You would have got, was it Horiguchi you would have got in the main event?
Yeah.
That'd have been a tough fight for him, but it'd have been a good one. It'd have been a good one.
But
No,
I think
this is a
that's
better one for him.
what separates Carl from a lot of fighters. He's one of those guys who really wants the toughest fights possible. You know, he really wants to go out there, and if he can't win, at least make a memory and make the most of the opportunity.
Yeah.
I think that's what he's really about. I think that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, you know, I had a similar circumstance once. I was asked to enter a tournament in where was it? Holland, just outside of Amsterdam, and it was a 4-man tournament at 160, 73 kilos, which was the Pride lightweight weight division, and the winner got a Pride contract. And the guy that I got in the first round was a guy that I'd already fought on Cage Warriors, and I'd lost to him. He was a real tough, durable French judo guy, David Baron, really, really good fighter. I lost to him the first time because it was a real short notice fight and I knew nothing about him. I was supposed to be fighting a boxer, and he came out and just kept taking me down over and over again. So then the second time around, I'm like, right, I'm gonna get some payback on this one. It was 2 3-minute rounds. He won the first round, I won the second round, but he was the easier fight for the Dutch guy that was going through to the final. So obviously he got the decision, he got shuffled through to the final, won the final, and his next fight was Gomi in Pride. And I always think to myself, if I'd have had one more 3-minute round, I almost finished him with a rear naked choke. I would have got that finish, and I would have had that fight against Gomi. And it was always a dream of mine to fight in Pride. You know, main event against Takanori Gomi in Pride would have been amazing. But that was one of those that just slipped through my hands.
Yeah.
You know.
But don't you find like as harsh as it is to lose those sort of dream fights, when you look back now, your life went a different path, and that was to where you are now. You know what I mean? Maybe things would have been different if it went that way.
Yeah.
I think those are I mean, it happens in every walk of life, but MMA for some reason, I think because like fans and fighters and teams are so closely knit, there's no sport in the world where I can sit and talk about it with someone like you. I can't do it in football. I can't sit down with Cristiano Ronaldo and discuss football, you know what I mean? So I think we're also like closely knit, so those decisions and moves in life seem so much more intense because we've watched journeys, we've watched people like get better and better and better, which is insane, man. And I think that for me sums up the attraction to MMA, besides the obviously like technical side of it, you know, training and then trying to see what guys are doing. It's that like closely knit.
Yes, accessibility of the fighters.
Yeah.
I mean, there's such a fine line between the fans and the fighters a lot of the time. Most of the guys that step into the octagon are just as big a fans as the people in the arena watching, you know, and that's a beautiful thing to see. I like it, and I hope it always stays that way as well. That's why, I mean, social media. I think with MMA being a social media sport, you know, coming around the same time, I think it's gonna help that.
100%.
Yeah.
I think also like as fighters make themselves more accessible. You know, you've seen guys like have a social media strategy for that.
Yeah.
And I think that's what will keep the longevity of that. Everyone has like, and in South Africa, to be honest, that's one of the biggest problems a lot of our fighters have, is that a lot of them don't understand the importance of creating a presence. And it's something like I'm trying to say to guys, like, be present. Even if you hate it, find someone, your sister, your mom, whoever, and just get it done. Otherwise, I don't know who you are. That's the way the sport goes, you know. And if you want notoriety in the sport, unfortunately, you have to put yourself out there. That's just the way it is.
Yeah. I'm thankful that it was quite easy for me because I just enjoy that stuff anyway. And my tactic was everyone that follows me on Twitter, I'll just follow them back. Just keep following everybody.
Some free advice for you.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, get on Twitter and just follow people back.
Nice and easy.
Is it hurt? Is it stinging?
No, it's not. It's just I don't want to look like fucking Quasimodo when I'm doing this post-fight show later on.
What's going on?
I have a sort of sweat went into my tear ducts because I've been pissing sweat on the way here, and then so I text my mom. I said, "Ma, what do I do?" And she just sends me a big list of things I have to do. So hopefully, by the time you see my post-fight show, I'll have normal eyes again. But I won't. It's going to take 4 days.
There's some ice in that ice bucket. Maybe just hold it on there. It might take the swelling down a bit.
Yeah, apparently it's an infection though, so I mean, it's not gonna. It's not swelling.
Okay.
And now I have to massage.
I reckon the more you touch it, the worse it will be.
Huh?
Are you trying to like push it out?
No, they said I was doing that earlier, but apparently you massage it to try and. This is what Mammy Carol says. Thanks, Margie. Love you, Ma. You're the best woman ever. Love you so much. I miss you so much, Ma. You better just say Elaine as well. I miss you too.
How are you enjoying the event so far?
Yeah, it's really different, like, you know what I mean? Even the thing you showed me outside where it's like I was showing you, James showed me, where they're beaming the images of the fighters who are actively competing onto this massive wall, the structure, the tent, the arena, whatever we're gonna call it, as people are getting food. Like, I just feel like it's the heat is certainly an issue. Like, journalists are even getting injured from this shit at this stage, you know? But like, you know, Toysum off there looked very tired. You saw Zuboira earlier on, he looked really tired against Lerone, and Lerone looked brilliant. Lerone, like, for a UFC debut to go in there with Zuboira, who this fight was really made for. He was set up to have a big hometown win here. And I was only talking to Carl Prince the other day, and you could just tell from the team that no way this is going to be any kind of walkover. And I think Lerone, fair play to him for going out and telling that story. First of all, to Nick Pete on the Fight Disciples, and he spoke about it again at the media. No, just Nick Pete. Just Nick Pete. Thanks, Nick. Not those guys. But no, but I think that's a hard thing to say. But I think he will benefit a lot from it now, because a lot of people from back home would text me, "Oh my God, that guy! That's an amazing story." And even though he doesn't want to be the guy who got shot in the face, like, it's a good way to introduce yourself. People remember that story, and they remember him coming into this kind of hostile territory and getting that draw. That's a huge draw, you know. That's going to set him up for a great career in the UFC, hopefully.
Yeah, they'll get to know the guy guy. You know what I mean?
So they might go, hey, you're the guy that got shot in the face, and then he'll be able to tell them all about himself.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you're right.
Yeah, it's like, it's a story to get people interested, and then the person he is now is the people who they'll fall in love with, you know what I mean?
It's like he's released a single, and now we're going to get the album later on. You know? They don't even exist anymore. Well, it's like on Spotify. We'll be back to them in a minute. Oh, Oscar with us got cake.
Brownie, man. Update on the food.
I've massaged my little thing and I've rubbed it with salt.
I don't know if Petey told you he has a sty.
Listen, this is the biggest concern in the media room at the moment.
He didn't know what it was until I told him.
He
I
has
had to
several
diagnose
things.
him.
You get a lot of them, don't you?
It's not the first time I've done a medical procedure on you.
No comment.
First
No
time,
comment.
First time
No
you're
comment.
facing me though. That's it.
How special of a fighter is he?
Yeah, pretty special, man. I mean, I think he's a couple fights away from potential GOAT status, you know what I mean? To go undefeated this long with this many fights, especially in the division that's that stacked, he's looking down the barrel of a pretty special career.
Ramzan Kadyrov was present as a guest at the tournament. Do you know this person, and maybe did you communicate with him today?
Heroes for Russian people, a big winner. Heroes for Russian fans. For Russian people, for fans.
Brain dead tonight, brother. The last thing you want me doing is speaking Russian right now. I can barely speak English. Thank you.
Can you just talk us through how the fight went relative to your expectations?
Congratulations, man.
with a burger double cheese. I want this one. And with some juice with ice. I want to enjoy a little bit. Give me a couple of those, please. Знаете, любой человек может проиграть. Никто этого не застрахован. И Всевышний не оставляет ни одно вообще существо в одном состоянии. Оно всегда меняется. Ты приходишь, сперва ты слабый, потом ты становишься сильным, потом...
Just that's is done from Brazil.
Sorry. Cheers.
Можно мне к нему сесть? Можно к нему сесть?